Hello, then as much as they play. I welcome you. Here is the filmed video just shows all the information taken from the internet. That is, regardless of nationality, religion, or education. Anyone can do it on the internet. Ours to one person, another person too. Well, without studying what I created with us, I realized one thing. I understood one thing. Until now, history is fatalizing. By the way, it seems like a long time ago, now too. Look, I'm just wondering why not Baku, but Baku. We know, after the words in Russian, everything is tank. Okay, but there is no what in Russian. Potatoes. Why is it not Baku, but Baku? What is the reason? What's the difference? New York, Texas, Washington, Moscow. He doesn't change. And why does the name of Baku change here to Baku? I just looked, there was only steam and sun. That is, grass was squeezed, coal and water were received, turned into steam, and this steam to move all sorts of trains through the aisle. Well, that's it. And then there were combustion engines. What does that mean? This is exactly a tank car, an airplane, all sorts of people and inaccessible in transport. So apply these technologies. Yeah. Now the third factor is capital. Technology is capital. That is, there are people. If we don't need technology, what can we do? If there is technology, then I immediately dropped it. Why capital? And you need to buy these technologies. You just no one will give you. That is, in addition to depends and three factors are obtained, 3 in 1. These are people, this is capital, technology's capital. Now a person has invested, my friends, found people. We also have carriers. He, using energy machines or an internal combustion machine, will call something. I found it as an extended savings. And they needed to pay for the same, by technology. That is, what is the technology, how it worked at home to bring. That's what you'll need to drip on. Cap2 is not taking money. These technologies are owned by technology to buy tanks, or whether urgently from the 10th to the 15th floor through. This is capital and technology. So a person invested in people, got their energy, that is, and went out to earn money. Now they will go back. It's also about making money. It has turned into capital, into a carrier, back into people. That is, she walked from left to right, now from right to left.
Baku is the capital and largest city of Azerbaijan, a country located in the South Caucasus region of Eurasia. Baku is located on the southern shore of the Absheron Peninsula and the Caspian Sea. The population of the city is more than 2.5 million people, which makes it the largest city in Azerbaijan and the 11th largest city of the Commonwealth of Independent States, abbreviated CIS. Baku is a city of contrasts. Both ancient and modern architecture has been preserved here, and it is a major center of both the oil industry and tourism. Baku is a major center of oil and gas production, and the city's economy is heavily dependent on these industries. However, Baku is also a major tourist destination, and the city's tourism industry is developing rapidly. Baku is home to many historical and cultural attractions, and the city is also a popular destination for business travelers. Baku is a bright and fascinating city. This is a place for both tourists and business travelers. Baku is a bright and fascinating city, and it is a popular place. And it is also worth noting that before we start talking about the successful people of Baku, we will define the word patron. A patron is a person who contributes on a voluntary and gratuitous basis to the development of not only science, art, health, and education in general, but also to specific individuals, in particular, by providing financial assistance from personal funds or having their own organization focused on one or another. The benefactor. The oil boom in Azerbaijan began in the 1990s, after the collapse of the Soviet Union. The country's oil and gas reserves are among the largest in the world, and the government has quickly capitalized on this wealth. As a result, a small number of people have become incredibly rich. These people are often associated with the government or the oil and gas industry. They own luxury homes, expensive cars, and private jets. They send their children to the best schools and travel to the most exclusive destinations. The first person to be discussed is Haji Tagiev, an Azerbaijani millionaire and philanthropist, a full state councillor of the Russian Empire, who created a fortune on FD. According to one version, he was born in 1823rd year, and according to another, more reliable, in 1838th year. He lost his mother early and lived under the care of his father. From his second marriage, his father had 5 more children. To help his family, the little one worked at a construction site, earning 5 or 6 kopecks a day. By the age of 15, he had mastered the craft of a bricklayer. From his first marriage he had 3 children, Ismail, Sadiq, and Khans. On the 28th of June, 1896, he married Sonia, the daughter of Major General Arablinsky. From this marriage, they had 5 children, Layla, Sarah, Magdi Kozim, Soraya, and Mamartagai. Tagiev managed to accumulate some capital in the late 50s, early 60s of the 19th century. He began to trade in manufactured goods. In addition, in 1870, he acquired a small white oil refining plant. After the abolition of the payoff system in the oil industry in 1872, Tagiev took part in the first auction held in 1872 as one of the founders of the Accomplices Association. As with other companies, this association won the auction. In the same 1873rd year, in the conditions of increasing excitement, Tagiev decided to try his luck in oil earnings on his own. Together with a partner, they purchased a plot of land for 9,000 rubles and began drilling a well. In 1873, the Tagiev Oil Company was established. Despite the long time of work on oil drilling, there was still no work. However, such people are not discouraged and with strange confidence continues to work on drilling a well, and personally participated in drilling operations. At the beginning of 1878, the long-awaited oil fountain was hammered at the Tagiev site. 5 years after he started, Haji became one of the richest people in the city of Baku, and his little-known deposit turned into a large enterprise. The great scientist Mendeleev, who visited Baku in those years, said the following about local entrepreneurs: the first place after Kokorev is occupied by government events and efforts of Baku figures, Haji Tagiev, Lenz, and Nobel. In the second half of the 1890s, the bio-oil industry was divided between large monopolies. Realizing the futility of competition, Tagiev sold oil wells, an oil and steel fleet, railway tanks, a storage of kerosene and fuel oil in various cities of Russia to the British banker Humbard for 5 million rubles. On the basis of enterprises owned by Tagiev, in 1897, the British founded the Society for Oil and Liquid Fuel Production in Russia, Oleum. However, Tagiev remained one of the directors of Oleum. The sale of the oil business at such a low price could be explained by his foresight, his understanding of the inevitability of a new crisis in the oil industry and, as a result, the increase in the cost of oil production and transportation, as well as the difficulties of its further export. Perhaps he would have needed a large sum of money to carry out his plans. It should also be noted that part of these plans was implemented with the opening of the first large textile factory in the South Caucasus, and then the opening of a new trade bank in Baku with Tagiev's direct participation. As a major oil entrepreneur, Tagiev owned several vehicles. He was the owner of a fleet of 6 steamers and railway tank cars. The availability of means of delivery allowed Tagiev to occupy a special position among the main companies engaged in the transportation of petroleum products. Tagiev's entrepreneurial activity was not limited to the oil industry. The need of Russian textile enterprises for raw yarn prompted him to build a factory for the production of cotton fabrics. In October 1897, the Caucasian Joint Stock Company for processing fibrous substances was established in Baku. The company has started the construction of a textile factory equipped with modern equipment. The construction of the main facilities of the enterprises was completed in 1900 and the first year. This meant not only the creation of valuable export goods and a new profitable industry in Azerbaijan, but also providing thousands of unemployed with jobs and free housing. The plant was launched in the village of Ekmedli in the suburbs of Baku. Free housing for workers and employees was built at the plant. The settlement had its own power plant, a polyclinic, as well as schools and courses for elderly workers. Unlike other factories, such as the Nobel Brothers factory and factory buildings, which expanded as production grew, the Tagiev plant was built by the famous architect Goslavsky as a single industrial and residential complex. It was the first such settlement for workers in Baku. Speaking about Tagiev's entrepreneurial activity, it should also be noted his activities in such areas of the economy as electric power, communications, land plots, banking and other interesting places. However, Tagiev remained in the memory of the people not only as owners of great wealth, but also for his educational and charitable activities. That's why Gagji was called the father of the nation during his lifetime. He was repeatedly elected to the Duma, participated in solving important problems of the city, discussing and making decisions. Tagiev not only voted for them, as the initiator of useful proposals, but also helped in their implementation at his own expense. On his initiative and with his direct participation, the first theatre building was built in Baku, a horse-drawn railway was launched and the Tajul Passage, a trading house with a number of shops and offices in the city center, began to function. Tagiev took an active part in the development and implementation of a project to provide drinking water to the city of Baku. Back in 1874, he was awarded a silver medal with the inscription for diligence for the construction of a water pipeline in Baku at their own expense. In 1901, Tagiev allocated 25,000 rubles for the construction of the Sholobakinsky water pipeline by the English engineer I. Ingleam. In 1917, the water supply system was created and put into operation. The solution of such an important problem as the spread of education occupied a large place in Tagiev's public activities. He was approved as an honorary trustee of the Mariinsky Girls' Gymnasium and also the Secondary Technical School, the Alexander Russian Muslim Women's School and the Commercial School of Baku. Tagiev provided generous financial assistance to students in need and provided scholarships to dozens of students studying at universities. Subsequently, prominent public and state figures, scientists, doctors, engineers came forward from among these students: Hasanbek Ogayev, Narimanov, Azizbekov, and other prominent figures. In general, Agiev's educational and charitable activities are politically connected with each other and were not limited to the city of Baku. He spent money on the maintenance of schools in Ganja, Sharmaki, Nakhchivan, Tbilisi, Derbent, Yerevan, as well as other regions of Russia. One of Tagiev's important achievements was the opening of the Russian Muslim Women's School named after Empress Alexandra Fyodorova in Baku in 1901, known as the Tagiev Women's School. The school was the first secular educational institution for Muslim girls in the East. In 1896, Tagiev made 150,000 rubles for its creation. Of these, 125,000 rubles were intended for staff, textbooks, and school supplies, and 25,000 rubles for the construction of buildings. Graduates of the women's school laid out the basis for preparing teachers to work in Azerbaijani schools and forming a system of vocational education for Azerbaijani women. Commenting on the relationship to periodicals, Tagiev said, "I consider the press as one of the strongest means of spiritual, educational, and economic development of the people. Therefore, I consider it my duty to provide financial assistance to newspapers." In 1895, Tagiev bought the newspaper Kaspi. Since 1905, the newspaper Hoyot, from 1906, the magazine Pusat, were published with the financial support of Tagiev. In 1873, a significant event in the history of Azerbaijan took place, the National Theatre was founded.